Hello, cheesers, and welcome to a Protocol Cheese-ish type video, but I'm not calling it that because I'm sick of Protocol Cheese. I'm done with Protocol Cheese, man. I'm fucking done with it. I'm over it. But it's kind of that type of video. So, anyways, we're getting really close now to the Forza series that I wanted to start running, and yeah, it's coming up this week. We've been doing, which seems really fast, but we've been doing, we've been on break for over a month, and we've been doing a lot of testing for this Forza series over the course of this past month. Like, yes, we have been on break, but a lot of us, or a decent amount of us, have actually still been showing up on Fridays, not for, not putting on any type of series of any kind, but just doing like public races on here and messing around with different things, trying out the game, trying out different setups with different cars, different series, trying out with the paint scheme or livery editor, and messing around with that, and just getting into Forza completely. And it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, we've had a pretty good time with these test nights. Some people have been there at almost like all of them. For the most part, most people have been there at like one or two and have kind of like jumped around. But overall, it's been a really good time, and we definitely learned a lot, and I'm definitely glad that we ran these tests before fully like getting into a series. But I do think that that now that we've done enough testing and that we're ready to run a series, so we're going to do our first mini series on the year. And I know this is kind of a change of plans. Like, I showed that whole like huge doc with the different things we could do and 2025 stuff. But I was saying with that, at the time even, that was like a lot of that was like to be determined, and that there's certain things we try to hit, but there's also got to be like a certain level of flexibility. And the reason why I changed up the Forza idea and why we're doing this, why we're starting with this Forza Winter Short Track Showdown and Daytona in parentheses, doesn't really fit in, but it's there. We're doing Daytona because it's Daytona week and it's going to be fun. The reason why we're doing this is because, well, just honestly, like, aside from me and my brothers, like a lot of, most people that are going to be racing in this have played Forza like a little bit, but like pretty casually. Like, you see it in their levels in the game. Their levels are really low. Have not had as much experience, have not put in as many laps on the game. So yeah, after doing the tests and thinking about that too, I was just like, okay, well, the Forza stuff, to be fair, I don't want it to be like, I don't know, I want this to be almost like throwback, like super early HRL ish, where hopefully the focus is like primarily on having a good time and putting on a good show. And yeah, I'm not sure. I do think these races will have some good competition at certain points, and especially like the Moto 2s will be pretty fun. But I don't expect it to be the most competitive thing ever throughout the entire field, because again, everybody's going to be at different levels, and just the time difference in the game and everything. So I just don't expect that. So the focus on this is more going to be on like the fun side instead, and just like having fun, trying out a different game, and all the different exciting things that we can, mess around with this game. Like I said before, the paint scheme editor, I'm still really, really excited about that. I've said it how many times about Halo Infinite, how like something that I really wanted, or one of the things that I was really excited about with Infinite and why I really wanted it to work, was the vehicle customization. And the vehicle customization in Infinite was so much better, and I was really excited about that from, well, honestly, a racer's POV and like doing the videos and stuff. And Forza's is way better. Like, the actual customization that you have with your vehicle is so much better. It can take a little bit of time to get used to, but a lot of like Roman in particular has been messing around with it a lot. Slaunch made a scheme that's pretty funny. I think everybody's kind of like done something. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get used to it, the customization's way better. And the stuff that people can make is like really cool. And I'm really excited to, have everybody's different expression with their different schemes and stuff like that. And have it look like a racing series somewhat, that I'm commentating on. Like that's exciting. And again, just like with him, from a racer's POV too, like just being able to instantly recognize somebody a little bit quicker. Yeah, without having to, well, I guess this is mostly an issue with the hogs and not the gooses, but yeah, without having to like ask constantly and be like who this is, or some people would switch colors on certain nights. Like, yeah, like someone like Roman usually has the same, but some people like to switch the colors around, and then you're just wondering like who the hell am I racing against, and just that type of stuff. You shouldn't have to worry about that with Forza as much, which is exciting. The replays, I'm really excited about the replays. The replay system in Forza has a lot of really cool stuff. I can actually look at everybody's fastest, best lap time and their most recent lap time. That is really, really awesome. How many times during a Halo commentary have I been like, oh, I would love to know, like, who gained that lap? I would love to know what the best lap of the race was, you know, stuff like that. If we ever wanted to do something in the points where there was like a best lap time bonus, we could actually do that. Yeah, like there's a lot of cool camera angles. It's gonna take some getting used to, don't get me wrong. I'm not super experienced with Forza's replay system, so the early, you know, race VODs and race replays might be a little rough. But I just messing around with it a little bit and testing, I think it can be really, really awesome. And yeah, I think the videos and the replays are gonna be much better once I get a good grasp of it, for sure. I think they'll be much better. So I'm really excited for that too. And yeah, so those are some of the things that I'm excited about. That's a little update on, sorry, this video is not scripted, so it's gonna be a little all over the place. But yeah, that's some of the things that we're excited about with Forza, and that's a little update on like what we've been doing in the off time and like how these tests have been going and whatnot. Okay, so now that we're through with that, let's talk about this first. So, we'll see what ends up happening with Halo on the year. I did reinstall MCC. I also recently uninstalled it again. I don't know. I'm still feeling pretty burnt on Halo, and more importantly, I think I'm feeling very excited about doing the Forza stuff and just like still thinking about what the Forza stuff could become eventually, because it's not going to be insane at first, because again, a lot of us that are racing in it are still super new, but it could develop into something really awesome. And like that just has me really excited. And Halo, on the other hand, is just like, I just really want a new game. I'm just kind of over MCC and over like still being stuck in the past and doing the same old shit and just like trying to make it work. And then just also the extra time that you have to put into it too. Like in Forza, I feel like I'll be able to put more time into the videos because I'm not putting that time into Forge and stuff like that. You know, like that kind of opens things up a lot. Forza has its own penalty system. I'm not going to completely go off of this for our penalties in the series, but I can still have it on as like a reference point. Like for example, like if the in-game penalty ticks, then I'll know like, oh, I can look at this incident and see if there's actually an incident there. Yeah, a lot of people rage at the Forza penalty system, but to be fair, even if it like gives the wrong person the penalty, it'll still like inform me that something happened there, and I can still look at it, and like it'll make sifting through penalties a lot quicker. Like that was something that got really frustrating with Halo, especially the last couple of years. I know you can ask Detail about it. Yeah, like having to like go through the penalties and having to like really, you know, pay close attention to the VODs and do all that manually. Having the game that has like a system with that will be really helpful. So yeah, like I'm just like still not very excited to get back to Halo. And again, more so, it's that I'm just like, a lot of this Forza stuff I think is really fun. I'm really excited to try it. And then other shit that we could do too. So like for example, like something that like Armada and I in particular, although we've gotten, well, I think just Matt joined for it the last time. I don't think anybody else did for any of these. I'm not sure. But you know, Halo Infinite, yeah, pretty shitty for racing, to be fair. But Ramda and I have been doing like squad battle, and we did like Castle Wars and shit like that on there. And it was like, oh, this could be a fun way to still have like an HRL Halo Infinite thing, is to just do like squad battle on like during off-season time or just like on random days or whatever. Have like a game night type thing and do like shit like that. in a party. And because, again, like, I think the fun of it is having everyone together and just doing something, some stupid shit like that. And yeah, just like even just playing with Ramda and Matt, it was still really fun. And it was like if we had a full party in squad battle, like I bet it'd be a really good time. So even like doing something like that, like that's a way that we could still like incorporate Halo. I'm not saying I don't want to like, I'm not saying that like we're done with Halo, like entirely, but like definitely as of right now, I think that having it on hiatus is gonna be, I just think we're gonna get the most out of this other stuff that we've discussed with the protocol cheeses, and like especially like the mixed terrain one when we're, you know, putting all the different ideas. There's the Minecraft idea, the Wreckfest one. That's another one with Game Pass that I want to get to. I do want to get to that. And stuff like that. Like, so again, like I think it's just best to put Halo on like hiatus status at the moment. And you know, maybe we'll get back to it this year, maybe we won't. But we're not gonna stop doing HRL things because I've been thinking about it. And my webcam blocks it, but I'm actually doing this video at fucking 3 in the morning, so that's how you know I'm actually inspired. But yeah, had some good conversations, had some thoughts about it, and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I don't really, so like Halo Racing Legends is like the original name, and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, so obviously like racing is in the name, but like Halo Racing Legends is still something that's like general enough where it can like evolve into something else. You know, it could be Halo Racing Legends in the sense that like it's something that stemmed from that, but we can still do other stuff. It doesn't have to be racing stuff, but Halo Racing Legends is like the roots, if that makes sense. So yeah, like we can still do HRL Forza, you know, I'm totally fine with it. Like it doesn't have to be a different thing. We could do HRL Forza, we could do HRL Wreckfest, we could do the game night shit, we could do Minecraft, whatever. And that's kind of what I want to focus on right now. Right now, I want to do Forza. Maybe we'll get to Wreckfest at some point this year. If you guys are not very informed on Wreckfest, it's on Game Pass. And it would be like tier S to the max. It would just be so troll. It's like really, really trolly, really not serious, but would probably be really fun. So that's what Wreckfest is. We don't really get that on Forza. So yeah, you have Forza, you have Wreckfest. We could do Minecraft stuff. I want to do another Spleef tournament. I think that would be fun. We'll figure out a place to fit that in. And just shit like that. So that's kind of the plan. I think doing all this like different stuff, you know, when hopefully we do get back to Halo, I think it'll be a big positive for Halo too. I think it'll like really rejuvenate when we do eventually get back around to it, like the passion for that, and to, you know, get into the forging again and stuff like that. Especially when there's a new game. But even, you know, even if there's not, like I think it'll be good for both things, if that makes sense. Like I think this approach for 2025 will be good for, you know, trying to do all this stuff that we've always kind of had on the side, but we've been so focused on Halo, haven't really had the time to do. And then eventually we'll get back to Halo and it'll improve that too, because we'll actually like want to get back to it and be really inspired for it. So that's kind of the idea. Okay, so it's all over the place. There's a lot to go through. I'll do a Discord post. I'll organize the thoughts in the morning. I'll do a too long didn't watch in the description too. So that's all that, right? That's all that. So that's the update on the off season. That's the update on, you know, how I'm feeling about Halo. And yeah, so kind of like where we're at. So now that all that's out there, there's more that I could talk about. You know, maybe we'll get into it in future videos, but I think that's good enough for now. So now for the end of this one, I want to focus on like what this Forza series is going to be. Well, one, these dates we are going to be starting this week. I'm going to figure it out in the Discord. If something changes, I'm going to try to post like Slaunch had an idea like Road to Daytona, and I'm down for that. I'm going to try to do some hype shit and pump out some teasers and some videos throughout the week. So look out for that. If the date changes, right now I do have it on Friday. But the question right now that I have is of the time. Like I know for OpEx, he could possibly make it if it was a bit later. So I do kind of want to place it a bit later if we can. So we'll try to figure out like who wants to show up and who's interested, and yeah, how we can make it work, because I would really like to do Saturday afternoons, but kind of from what I've been seeing, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just going to have to still be Fridays. So maybe we could do it a little bit later on Fridays. We'll have to see if we can figure it out. Because yeah, I would like to get, you know, as many people there as possible. But assume it'll probably be Friday. The time might switch around a little bit than what we've been used to. So look for that to, you know, pay attention to that as well. See if something changes there, because it might. But what's the series? Well, the first thing I want to say, and this has changed a lot. I'll post this in the Discord too. This has changed a lot, and I'm sorry for that. That the idea of the series and that the cars that we're using, I'm sorry it's changed so much. But that's just like a byproduct. Not talking Roman in the past. Of us doing, God damn it, of us doing all these tests and just like finding out like where we're at. So yeah, we've like learned different things with different tests, and so like the idea of like what the first series would be has kind of evolved with that. And I finally found a place that I like, where I want us to start, and we're going to be doing the Mazda, the 2017 MX-5 Cup Mazda cars. So I believe they're, well, again, it's a Mazda, so you go under the Mazda category in the car. That'll help you find it. And I think the rating, I think like the performance rating, whatever the Forza in-game, I want to say it's like 477-ish. Like it's a C-class car, like 477-ish, I want to say. I believe that's what it is. So that's the car. Again, 2017 Mazda MX-5 Cup car. And why this car? Well, multiple reasons. One, in real life, it's kind of like a grassroots, like you're starting out in racing type car. So I think it's fitting. I think it's fitting in that way. And I think it's actually a really good starter car in the game for people that aren't used to like the mechanics of the game. Like I think it works similarly. It functions similarly in the game to how it functions in real life. Like it's a really good starter car. It'll be really good for people that aren't super experienced with the game to still like get some racing experience, get used to the tracks, and it'll be really battle heavy. These cars will be really battle heavy. I think that'll be really fun for a lot of us, since you know the focus is fun anyways. So yeah, that's the car. Get it purchased. They're not that expensive in game, so it shouldn't be too hard if you don't have the credits already. It should not be too hard to get them. They're not that expensive. It's pretty early on starter car. And, you know, get working on the schemes. Get them ready. Tunes. We're going to do a spec series, which means everybody's car is going to be default. So don't worry about upgrading the car. Don't worry about leveling the car. Don't worry about finding a tune for the car. Everybody is going to be on the same stuff for this series. I messed around with the stock setup. I thought it felt pretty good for a stock setup. A lot of the stock setups in the game for a lot of these cars don't feel very good. I thought the Mazdas actually felt decent. So we're going to do a spec series that'll make it really similar to Halo for you guys that are used to that. Everybody will be on the same stuff. You'll still be able to mess with tires and stuff like that. We'll still have like pit strategy and shit like that. There'll still be like a mandatory like one pit stop a race. We're gonna shoot for about 20-minute long races, which seems a little long, but we're not doing heats for Forza. We're just doing practice, qualifying, Moto 1, Moto 2. And the Moto 2 will be the classic like invert starting order. It'll be, you know, same type of thing. Again, the races will shoot for about 20-minute long motos. There will be tire strategy. You will have freedom when it comes to that. And again, one mandatory pit stop. So Mazda, mostly short tracks plus Daytona, spec series, still have pit strategy, 20-minute long races, all the things. If I missed any like super important shit, please in the comments or in the Discord questions. Now's a good time. But yeah, there's our schedule. And again, like with the Mazdas, it's a good starting schedule with these tracks. These are good tracks for everybody to learn the game on and have some good racing on. We're going to start at the Daytona Sports Car Circuit to mirror the real-life event, the Daytona 24 that's happening this weekend. So that's why we're doing Daytona. It's going to be some drafting. This is some oval action, but it's a roval. It's going to be fun. Funnily enough, we actually started off last year in Halo with the Daytona infield as well, so that's kind of cool how we're mirroring that. So we're starting with the Daytona Sports Car Circuit. If you want to practice it, it's in game. And now you know the car to practice with as well. So that's that. Week 2, we're going to do the short Maple Valley. I really like the short Maple Valley. It's almost like Eagle River-esque. It's almost Eagle River-esque. I think it's maybe a little bit of a stretch, but if you try it, I think you'll see what I mean. Very cool short track. And then we're going to go to Lime Rock Full Circuit. It's the one with no chicane. It's the full Lime Rock track, but the chicane, there's no chicane. It's just the normal turns. The Lime Rock Full Circuit. Lime Rock is a great starter track. It's a great track. It's a bit tighter, but that's good for these MX-5 cars that we're going to be racing. These cars are a little bit smaller. They'll work pretty well at Lime Rock. And then we'll do the Catalunya National alternate circuit. It's a short version of the Catalunya track. Again, this is the one with no chicane. I really like this one. I think this one's going to be really good for learning. I really like this short track a lot. And then we're going to finish out the season with the Triple Crown at the Grand Oak Club Circuit, which is actually one of the fantasy tracks, like the tracks made by Turn 10 in the game. And I really like the Grand Oak Club Circuit. I really like the Grand Oak track in general. It's a very good intermediate track where it's not super easy. Like they also have Hakone, which is another Turn 10 track in the game, and that one's like maybe a little bit too easy for a lot of people. I think Grand Oak's a really good intermediate track where there's actually some like tricky sections, but it's mostly like pretty battle heavy. And I think a Triple Crown on Grand Oak will be a really good finale for this Forza Winter Short Track Showdown and Daytona. I think it'll be interesting to see once we get to this track how much it evolves and how much better people get and how much more used to the racing we get. And yeah, I'm really excited to see the difference between Daytona and between Grand Oak in February. Very excited to see the difference between those two races. I think it'll be really cool to see. I think there'll be a lot of improvement, even though it'll just be a few weeks of racing. So there you have it. There you have it. Again, I went through what we've been doing in the off season, what the plans are for this year, and what the deal with Halo is. And then, you know, the main meat of the video, which is what we are about to get into. I'm going to be posting shit, all right? It's coming quick. This Forza Winter Short Track Showdown. Again, the car, 2017 Mazda MX-5 Cup car, and, you know, all the race info. I might have missed some stuff. So if you have other questions, by all means, shoot them now. Because, yeah, this is coming up really quick, and I am fucking excited. I think this is going to be really fun. I think it's going to feel like going back to our roots in a way, but also doing something completely different, and I'm really excited for that. I think that'll be really nice for us in 2025. And I feel, you know, I'm a little worried, admittedly, and I have some doubts going in because I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I really want it to work, so I'm going to try my damnedest to make it work because I've always wanted to do this, and I just want it to be fucking fun and cool. And so, yeah, try to make it the best that we can. So, like, last thing to close the video. So you might be thinking, like, okay, well, there you go. There's the first Forza thing. What if this does go well? What if it is pretty fun? You know, what about in the future, since, you know, I had that big plan, and obviously we've kind of, like, messed around with that here. We're not doing that this year. So, like, what would, you know, potentially come after this? I've got plenty of ideas. One of them, we don't have any ovals in this series, but we were going to do the NASCAR, and we've been doing the NASCAR series a lot in preparation for this and a lot of our tests. So an oval series, or just a NASCAR series with, you know, ovals and a couple of their road courses mixed in with the NASCAR cars. I think that would be really fun. I think that'd be maybe even more at home for a lot of HRL people, because you won't just have the GP circuits, you'll have the ovals mixed in there too. I think those cars are pretty fun to race, especially on the ovals. They can be a little tricky on the road courses, but especially on the ovals, they're really fun to race. Can make really awesome schemes, can find really awesome schemes with them. So yeah, a Forza NASCAR series, or just like specifically oval series, that's another thing that we could do. We could get into we could keep moving up classes. We could do another short track showdown on some of the other great short tracks that this game has. There's a lot of other ones that did not make it into this very tight schedule right here. With the touring cars, and step up the pace a little bit with those cars. They're a little bit faster. Try out those. And then, you know, eventually we could work our way up to, we could try the Formula Mazda cars. Those are the ones that look like mini Indy cars almost. We could try something like that. Those are a little bit racy, a little bit different. We could try something like that. Could eventually work our way up to GT, which is where I want to be. And then once we get to that point, maybe we could even do like multi-class type shit when we get there. So yeah, basically, my idea for the Forza progression, instead of just going right into that big series like we were going to do, I thought about it and I was like, this is ambitious, and I tend to be ambitious, but a lot of the times this shit doesn't work out and ends up getting changed around anyways. It's like, after doing the tests, I was like, okay, this is probably not going to work out the best if we do it this way. Let's do this short track showdown idea. Let's change the car to the Mazda car. And yeah, let's make these adjustments. I think it'll be better for racing. I think it'll be better for people learning. And then we'll kind of have like a natural, almost like a real life racers progression of building up the series. And we'll kind of do that with our racers and kind of build ourselves up and, you know, eventually move up. And if it keeps being fun, we'll keep doing that and we'll keep doing Forza stuff. We'll see how it turns out. But if not, we can do different stuff. We have those other ideas that I mentioned earlier. We can go into the Wreckfest thing. I think Wreckfest could be really fun. We have the Minecraft ideas. I genuinely do want to do another Spleef tournament. Again, Ramda and I have been having fun with those squad battle, just like game night type things. We could do stuff like that. So plenty of other ideas to do. So yeah, if it works out, great. If it works out not so great, then there's other alternatives that we could explore. So I'm excited though. I think it is going to work out great. And yeah, I hope to see as many of you as possible this Friday. Time to be determined. All that shit, like the Discord, keep an eye on it. It's definitely going to ramp up this week. Going to be working on the docs. Going to be getting all the rules stuff, you know, in text, figuring that out, answering questions. I'm sure the Discord will be popping throughout the week until we finally get there. All right, that's it. That's enough yapping. For you guys that like the 3 a.m., in case you don't believe me, there you go. 3 a.m. Luch Rant, stream of consciousness talking. It's essentially what it is. You know, hope you enjoyed it, even though I was a little all over the place. I do think I explained a lot in many different ways when it comes to the Forza stuff, and then, yeah, just like HRL as a whole and where we're at. Like, I think this is a good update on the last video that I posted on, you know, what's in for HRL in 2025. That's kind of what this is. It's kind of like a part 2 for that. So I think this video was pretty good as far as covering that goes. It was just a little all over the place. Again, I will be doing write-ups in the Discord to and the description as well. Make everything concise in case you missed everything. Or missed anything. Not everything. Hopefully. Alright, GG's. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready for bed. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, hope to see you at the races. And see you in the next video posted on this channel, which will be some teaser stuff, hyping it up, and then hopefully our first Forza race VOD in like a week's time-ish, I hope. Really excited. I hope it turns out well. See you guys there.